Hi there. In this video we will be taking a look at the PeakTech 3440 multimeter. I reached out to PeakTech because my multimeter, which I'm going to show you in a moment, it has helped me on the channel for many years. It's basically a no-name, but it has done the job decently well, but has started to give errors on voltage reading. For example, I'm measuring something that I know should have about 12 volts. This shows me 8 volts or something like that. I measure something that should have 5 volts. This shows maybe 3 volts. So it has failed, but it's not something that I know it's off with a few volts, so I can always add or subtract that. It's just, it shows lower than it should be, but quite random, so not really usable. I still used it for continuity and other measurements, but then this happened. I don't even find the other one, honestly. I don't know what happened to it, where it fell down. So this is quite gunky. Yep, sadly. What PeakTech has sent me, it's 100 times better, maybe more. It's honestly something like going from a simple pocket calculator with just basic functions to a full scientific calculator. So it's quite over what I know to do with a multimeter, above what I know to do with a multimeter, but I can always learn, and this can be used to actually improve many tests that I do on my channel. So that's going to be nice. And also, this will be helping me replace something else that hasn't been used since my last capacitor replacement, which I think was more than a year ago. This is a capacitor, and the PeakTech knows how to also measure capacitance. So it can actually replace two devices with a much better one and much more accurate than two no-names. So we know that for a fact. Let's get into the box. And thank you PeakTech once again for sending in this to help out the channel. I did the unboxing while my daughter was also looking what I find in this, so that is why I opened up everything and didn't talk to you. So this is a Graphical TrueRMS Multimeter with data logger. Okay. What we have in here, firstly, multimeter, which first impression built like a brick. Not heavy, so don't get me wrong, it's not unexpectedly heavy. It's exactly what I would expect from a decent tool. Obviously, place for your probes right on the back of it, as most multimeters also have, so that's quite normal. And we also have this, which is the charger, as you can see. So 10 volts, 1 amp for charging. And we have this. Yep. This is used to charge the battery inside the multimeter because, let me show you, this multimeter works with a lithium battery. So bye-bye 9 volt batteries that I used in my multimeters up until now, and hello lithium battery, 1200 milliamp hours in this case. I'm not going to directly put the battery in because I might want to look into the manual, and after that This I think it's a Bluetooth dongle for your laptop, presumably. Bluetooth 4, yes. Okay. Quite a nice dongle. Temperature probe. And these looks like they belong together. So let's see what we have here. Am I doing something wrong? I might be doing something wrong, so better read the manual. Or, I might not be doing anything wrong because I think this plugs in right here. So presumably, yep, I'm not doing anything wrong. The multimeter doesn't have on the face of it something like this one, old one had right here for the temperature. You can see those two holes, ugly ones, if you don't use them. And I honestly rarely use them, but I do use them sometimes, so it's good to have them, but I'm not said that they are not there always. So plug this thing in and simply plug the probe, but where is positive, where is negative? For sure it's written somewhere, so we have a plus there, which means that this is the direction, plus to plus. And now we have a temperature probe ready to go, and temperature. In theory right here, but we will look at that in a moment. I'm like a kid in the candy shop, so sorry about not being really professional with this. But this is much better than anything that I played around with up until now, so yeah. And you will see this multimeter a lot on the channel from now on, and hopefully you will see me learn to use it in more and more advanced features. Wires really thick, but at the same time flexible, so that's really good. What do we have here in terms of so 10 amps? Is the voltage written anywhere on them? 2000 volts. Yep, I think that's enough. I like that they have the possibility to have this protection on, so they are not fully covered on these ones. I had some kind of cover that would completely cover them, so you would need to take it off to actually work. I can use this directly as is, and I don't run the risk of shorting stuff, or obviously I can take it off and you have longer probes, depending on what you need to do. But for most of my measurements, and then here we have 1000 volts for this part, so the cable is 2000 volts, 1000 volts, the rest of it. For most of my jobs, camera focus please, this will be used as is, and it's good enough because I do mostly poking around and not deeply into plugs or who knows what. Protection, 1000 volts, cat 3, category 3, or I'm not sure if people actually pronounce it cat or directly category. So yeah, this is what we have here. We have the software, obviously. For Windows, it's XP Vista 7 and 8, but if it works on Windows 8, it also works on 10 and 11. So basically this software, you have a Windows, this will work on it. It works on anything. I think we have the calibration sheet right here, which is quite nice. So it matches the serial number 54. Yep, it matches the serial number. So for our multimeter, and the test was done with a Fluke 9100, we have the calibration right in here. So everything passed. Nice. And the manual, there's a bit of a manual in here. I will give it a quick browse, mainly how to turn it on and start using it, and then we will see about the Bluetooth features. Ready enough to know how to put in the battery. This is not the proper screwdriver, you should use a wider one. do not make any damages in here. So rotate this counterclockwise, and in theory I think we are unlocked. We have the unlocked symbol at the bottom. Presumably I turned it a bit too much. Yep, I did turn it a bit too much, so I was starting to lock it once again. This fully comes out. As you can see, it has a clip at the top and the latch at the bottom. We have the huge fuse in here, at 1000 volts one, 30 kilo amps. Jeez. Or wait a second, 10 amps, 30 kilo amps. Nope, sorry, not smart enough to know what that means. Somebody please chip in the comments. And another fuse right here in a holder. So let's get the battery in. And in theory it's in. And actually this is the cover. Forgot about it fully. So the other fuse is 800 milliamp hour at 1000 volts. And now rotating this back, now it's latched, and in theory I think we can actually power this on. And we have a full battery, Bluetooth is on, beeping is on presumably, and we are in voltage mode. Don't have this plugged in yet. And auto range, so it defaults to auto range when you turn it on. If you want to set a manual range by yourself, press range, 5 volts maximum manual, 50 volts, 500, 1000 volts. And if you want to exit manual range, press and hold, and we are in auto range. This is quite nice. Geez, it feels really nice in the hand. I know I sound like a broken record, but it really does. Also, I forgot to tell you, this has an app for your mobile phone, and this can connect via Bluetooth to your mobile phone. So you know I'm downloading that now, don't you? So let's turn this to on. And in this position you can charge it like I will show you in a moment. But for me not required because the battery is full. When charging you need to have it to off position. If charging right there in the off is not enough, if this is not enough, showing you that it's okay to have it there, we also have this on the cable. So I don't think you can get it wrong, and if you get it wrong with so many warnings, you have a problem. We are in Play Store from Google, searched for PeakTech meter app, install. Next, open the app. Accept. Allow while using the app. Yep. Allow. And I think I should turn on the multimeter. I just did turn it on. And let's see, connect device. Did it find it? It found it almost instantly. That's actually cool. Okay. Ha. Let me press range. Does it do anything? I wonder. Exactly what I see on the screen. You don't see the screen of the multimeter, but exactly what I see on the screen happens here. When I press range, for a moment, yes, it sees a voltage. It's absolutely normal. Okay, and you can obviously record this if you want, and presumably do many other. Wait a second, mode. We have we have in this app, can I change? Okay, this is more than I thought. So the multimeter can be set somewhere connected and you can play with it. Okay, mode, let's see. We are changing modes basically. Jeez, this is okay. Yeah, this is again more than I know what to do with at the moment, but this is really cool. Let's just do some random measurements, I don't know, of some capacitors to see how this compares to my capacitor. Yeah, why not? So be back in a second. Next day, hopefully better light in here. Let's connect the leads. Obviously, we need to remove the protection from them, or covers, whatever you want to call them. And it's out. And for my situation, the standard connection will be this one here for voltage, resistance, capacitor, frequency, temperature, whatnot. This is the side where we connect. And yes, here for measuring amps, up to 20 amps for 30 seconds at every 15 minutes. So it overheats at 20 amps, but 30 seconds is way more than my old one could do. And for microamp and milliamp, we have this right here. And yes, it seems it has auto power off, which is good, because without it, illuminated color display would drain the battery for sure. So let's go to capacitor. And yes, here it will automatically switch between continuity, resistance and capacity. Let me get some capacitors. Let's give this a test. So what is this? 3200 microfarads. Let's see what we'll be getting here. So negative, positive, and you might hear my daughters screaming downstairs. They are playing around. So I think here we need to be. So 3.2 approximately, which is close enough to 3.3 that it should have, considering this is an old capacitor. So let's see what we get here. It will be a bit trickier because it comes with these leads, which are mostly for poking things, not for directly little fit like this on the capacitor. But PeakTech has a kit of different leads which are good for most jobs. Okay, so I might need to change it myself. I thought it's just deciding by itself what to give me, but no, I need to change it. So I think here is where we need to be. Let's check once again. And it's in auto range for capacitance. Are we over the limit? No, we are not. So it just took its time to, or I didn't make good contact, that's also a possibility. Okay, so it gives us the value and it actually reads more than the other one. I trust this more than I trust the other one, honestly. So, and if I think about it, with this, I have never ever measured or seen a capacitor that was over spec. And I always thought that companies don't tend to do something over spec. They likely make it barely in spec, and with time it goes below spec, obviously, at least for capacitors. But maybe this is just giving me a reading that's, I don't know, a few percents less than the real one. So that would make sense. Let's also measure a few resistors from this board. I think this is older than me. Actually, I'm quite sure this is older than me. So these resistors for sure have drifted, but I still used a lot of them, as you can see from the missing ones in here. My father brought this from the factory he was working at a point in time. I think this is the manufacturer of the equipment this was used in. As you can see, a really interesting connector here, so presumably they had more of these types of modules to do various configurations on that equipment. Who knows? Anyway, some transistors, diodes, whatever, but I'm digressing. So many of these values might not be quite okay, and also some of them might be in series, parallel, who knows exactly. In parallel would affect us, in series it shouldn't affect us. So yeah, not a good idea to measure directly in here, but let's give it a poke. So we are in auto range. Let's see, somehow the leads shouldn't come on the screen so you can actually see what I'm measuring here. Let's poke some different values around here. I think this is the smallest one, honestly, 820, and we are about, instead of 0.82 we have 0.76 kilo ohms. It has drifted. What is this? 5.6. No, this is in parallel with something because we are reading way off. Let's see, a 10K. 8.8. So this has drifted quite a bit too. If there was any doubt about this being drifted, I'm going to attempt to measure on ohms. This still works fairly good. So the 821, 7.7, like we are getting from the PeakTech. I want to somehow show you better how this changes when you are not making a proper contact in there. If I could actually make a contact. So you can see it changing basically the value in real time on your graph. Let's quickly also measure a voltage. Switch this to DC. Could we actually make proper contact? Hopefully. Figured out what was happening. The power bank wasn't actually turned on. Because it didn't sense a load on it, it refused to turn on. I needed to quickly connect something for a moment, and it turned off once again on me. How quick of a timer does this power bank has? Let's try to... Okay, so this time it actually powered on even without a load. but it will power down fairly quickly, it seems, without a load. So we are quite bang on 5 volts. Connected the temperature probe and I'm holding it between my fingers. I usually have cold hands, so this shows that quite clearly. Let's see, do we get it now? Yes, we do. So it has a sort of quick power on mode that boots quicker. And if you let it off longer, it goes into full shutdown. That's quite awesome. Just wanted to mention something else. In the few hours that I've been playing around with the multimeter, the battery didn't even budge. So it's full battery. This lasts a lot. Forgot to mention that on this we also have the manual in German and English. If you are wondering what's on the DVD drive or CD, not really sure what it actually is, this is what's on it, and I've started the installer and we will install the software because honestly I was really curious and I couldn't help myself. So although this is not the final PC that will be going into my workspace, I still want to see the software. And this is the software. I haven't yet plugged in the USB thumb drive. Let's plug it in now. And I will also power on the multimeter. Or you know what? I'm feeling brave. I've seen something here with COM port. So could that be? Okay. That's it. This is it. Oh, still haven't set the proper time on the multimeter. I will show you that because the multimeter has a ton of settings in the menu. So let's see. Real time start. But I don't have anything to measure. Let me be back in a second. This is what I will be measuring just from the back of the board, and I will be showing you the recording from the screen. You can literally see how it's going from ohms to kilo ohms slowly by me rotating it and trying to hold it as steady as possible with my hand. Did I rotate it all the way? Yep, I think I went all the way. So that was the maximum, and now we are going back slowly. Come on. Yeah, the fact that I'm barely making contact with my hand doesn't do it justice. At this point, if we can stop it and pick an area to have a better look. Yep, we can. And here you can see the values between which we played around with it when I went up and down. This is really nice, honestly. And yeah, I'm doing just little things like this, honestly, on my knee. I think it's the proper term. I don't have anything set up, just grabbed an old electronics board and started poking at it. Okay, this is quite cool, and I will have lots of fun with this. And yes, obviously you can save something like this as a log. Let's see, in documents, yeah, good enough in documents. Save it. Yeah, okay, so I gave it a play. As you can see, it started to create a new graph. I will give it a stop. So now if we open it up and the old one appears, obviously, yep, exactly. So we saved exactly this part of the old graph. That's freaking awesome. Let's see with this. Actually, not only that part, my bad. The whole thing we saved it, the whole recording, but it remained zoomed on the part that we were zoomed at that moment. So, yep, nice to play with this. Obviously, you can also print it in case you need it. Export. Okay. This just got a bit more interesting. Wait a second. Let's see documents. Don't match to property. Yes. I don't care about that. Yep, I should buy a new license. I had one that was valid just for 1 year. As you can see, yes, where we have this, it was open, so I wasn't making contact. Let's go lower. Where's the area where I was actually making contact and going up and down? Here it is. So here we have the values. This is quite cool. And yes, this is I think we were measuring twice a second or something like that. I haven't gotten exactly deep into these details, but yeah, quite cool. Much more than I know what to do with at the moment, at least. Nice. Also, I want to touch up on something else from any of these positions. From this one, for example, you go to save and then up, down, cancel and enter, these 4 buttons, the function buttons. Go to setup, enter, and here format, let's see what, beeper. Okay, format, date format, time format, let's see, beeper, on, off, off, no beeper anymore. So stuff like that, and I think I'm going to leave it off, because if I use this in my future YouTube videos, people will get annoyed on the beeping. So for the moment, I think it will go to off. Let's see what else we have here, and my phone's battery is almost gone. Let's see what else. Numeric format. Okay, if you want a dot or a comma. Well, I think I want a comma, honestly. And my phone still isn't charging. That's a bit weird. Anyway, that format, edit, mount, they mount here. Yes, I'll be going with that. Oh, my bad. So that one, down, time format, 24 hours. And close. Let's go again here. This is a nice way of actually working in here. So as you can see, we can set everything up. Date is correct, time is not correct, so we'll be setting that. Let's see exactly which one of them is this. Okay, so I should have only looked in here for guidance. Yes, this is honestly really easy to work with. Let's see. Go planet. Okay. Auto power off. You can set it to whatever you need. I think. Are we at? Okay, let's go down. 5. Good enough for me. Foreground, background. Oh, you can actually reverse. Wait a second. Edit. Hey, you can change the colors. Ha ha ha. Come on, this is cool. You need to say this is cool, isn't it? So we change them, close, and we have completely different colors for this. What did I do? And yes, here you have the menus to save, delete, things that you saved, graphs, whatnot. Lots and lots and lots of stuff that can be done with this. That's our firmware version. Okay, I entered graph mode by mistake. Let's see what else we have in the setup menu. Bluetooth, I think just to see if it's on or not. No, don't turn it off, let it on in case I need to connect to it with my phone. Calibration. No. We don't, my bad. We don't play with calibration yet. We are not there. Temperature. Okay, so you can set an offset for the temperature for the probe. That's cool, honestly. That's really, really cool. Okay, sorry about the little pieces of paper. Daughters like to put their little fingers on everything, exactly as I like to play with everything. So I can only encourage that. Thank you very much, PeakTech, for sending this multimeter. It's a beast, honestly, and it's a great addition to my shop, to my lab, to my whatever I will start calling it when it's actually prepared. It will still take me a few months, but yes, with tools like this we can have much nicer videos in the future. And yes, everything fits in the carry pouch. Leads, multimeter, charger, temperature probe, manual, CD, whatever was in there, everything fits in here perfectly. On a side note, just wanted to show you what multimeters used to look like back in the day. I think this has, oh Jesus, you can see I'm not even picking it up easily. This has 2 kilos, honestly. And it doesn't have a battery in, so it's not working at the moment. And it's fully working, so it's a fully working device as you see it now. My father even made these test leads, so these are fully made stainless steel tips, banana connectors right here, a bit corroded. I should clean them if this ever needs to be used again. Really, really, really nice. Yep, so we've come a long way, as you can see, with the PeakTech. And this is about the end of the video. I'm not going to go into more details because this video is already way too long, and honestly is mostly a kind of preview. I can go and do stuff with this multimeter that I didn't even think I would need and I could ever do. This is basically like the smartphone of multimeters or something like that. It's gonna be quite interesting, and thank you very much, PeakTech, for sending this in. It's opened up a whole new world for this channel. So, as always, feel free to ask anything in the comments, and see you in the next one. Bye.